Good day, Vaughn community. Mr. Rick and Clyde back once again to share some more of those Christmas records with you. It's a Saturday morning around here, and it's time for the second cup of coffee. And we'll jump right into it. But Clyde says he wants to say something. Said he walked into a bar. Yeah, and he told the bartender to give him something cold and full of gin. And the bartender said, "You can have my wife." I know somebody else that's cold and full of gin. Go to sleep. I'll start getting into these Christmas records here. This is the 5th time I've tried to record this thing. It seemed like every time last week I tried to record this video, something would go wrong with it. And so this is try number 6. Going through the letters K and L this week. And it's a short video, only 9 albums in it, because the letter M is coming up. And that one's got quite a few of them in it, and I don't want to put you all to sleep by going through too many of them. But hard to believe that we've got only 6 weeks left before Christmas starts, and Christmas will be here. So hopefully I can get through all the alphabet in time to before Christmas. We'll start off. This is the first one is Christmas Wonderland with Bert Kaempfert. This is a good album. If you like Bert Kaempfert, if you like his orchestra, it's common of his style, and but it sounds good, and he's got a lot of interesting records in here. He wrote the one Holiday for Bells, which is an interesting song, and Children's Christmas Dream, among a couple others, and he does a lot of classics here. But this is a good sounding album with Bert Kaempfert on the Decca label from somewhere around 1965, I believe. That's about when he was popular. Christmas Day with Sammy Kaye. Aren't too many people alive anymore who remember Sammy Kaye when he was popular back in the 40s and 50s. And this album here is from his debut around the late 1950s. And typical Sammy Kaye style with the orchestra and this chorus of singing Christmas albums. And a fairly well Christmas album, if you like the big band sound. Here's an interesting album that came out in 1960. This is Andre Castellanes and his orchestra with Earl Whiteson as a baritone. Of course, it's done in the classic style of classical music, but the interesting thing is the sleigh ride that he does on side 2. That is a track that was played all over the radio, and it was a good one too back in the day. And Andre Castellanes and his orchestra with Earl Whiteson as the baritone, and this from 1960. This lady here, Christy Lane, a gospel singer. A lady by the name of Marilyn Sellers in 1974 came out with a song called One Day at a Time. You may remember that. She was popular until Christy Lane recut the record, and then all of a sudden just took it over and became popular for her, and that's where she got her start and her fame from. I don't have a lot of love for this album. It's kind of buzzed. What do you call it? Mediocre. But anyway, it's the man from Galilee. Christmas is the man from Galilee, Christy Lane. Steve and Edie Gourmet. I like them, Steve Allen and Edie Gourmet. This is a great album that they put together. The hit off of it was one called Happy Holiday, which they recorded, and this came out around 1966 or 67, I'm not sure, but another good album. This is from them, and they do a lot of the classics, of course, but a good album from Steve Allen and Edie Gourmet. And of course, this was a famous one. This is Brenda Lee and Merry Christmas From. This is an original Decca from 1960, I think 65. but it's not in very good condition. I'm looking for an upgrade on it. But her Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, of course, was the hit on this. And she does the Jingle Bell Rock. One of the very few rock and roll Christmas albums that I've got. I've only got a handful of those and looking for more. And Brenda Lee. It's a good Christmas album. Good rocking Christmas album. Then come, if you remember, Lawrence Welk. We had to listen to Lawrence Welk when we were kids. It was kind of, you know, we didn't have a choice. But the Lennon sisters were on it, and they did their harmony, and they harmonized on this one also. They do a whole bunch of classics on this album. It's typical Lennon sister style, and it sounds like Lawrence Welk's orchestra is in the background of this album. Here's the Christmas with the Lennon sisters. Then we've got Guy Lombardo and his orchestra. This is a compilation of all the old 78s that they did years and years ago. And back in the 40s, the Andrews sisters sing a few of them on here with him. And him, of course, his brother, I forget his brother's name right off the bat, but that does a lot of the singing on them. And not a bad sounding album. Big band sound, of course, of Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians and Jingle Bells. And last but not least for this week, we go to 1966, and this is Loretta Lynn's Country Christmas album, and it's a good country. I don't know if she recorded another one or not. I have not seen another country Christmas album from Loretta Lynn, but this one's got, you know, the Country Christmas on it, which is good. And the heck with old Santa Claus. When he goes dashing through the snow, I hope he falls, is what she sings. And it's got a lot of classic Christmas and the Gift of the Blues and several country Christmas. A good country Christmas album from Loretta Lynn, of course, in her style from 1966. Alright, and that just about takes care of it for this week. We'll be back next week with the letter M, and we'll continue on through all that, okay? And until we meet you again, this is Mr. Rick and Clyde saying, happy trails.